I'm distracting them. Okay, I'm going in here. Look, they're looking at me. Go.
Invulnerable.
No way, dude. No way. I just got an achievement. No way. Oh, you saw that?
This guy rolls.
What's going on, guys? It's Frito here for your Overwatch. Had the opportunity to play Overwatch 2 with a bunch of other content creators and learn Kiriko, as well as just more things about Overwatch 2 in a more high-level gameplay scenario. Playing in lobbies filled with content creators that are trying to get their own content made for some exciting matches and some good opportunities to test the limits of Kiriko. I got a few tips of what you should focus on when you try to learn how to play her, some pitfalls to avoid, and some surprising strengths that you may not have assumed she had. My first basic tip is how to land headshots with the kunai knives. Similar to maybe somewhere between a Zenyatta orb and a Hanzo arrow, you're going to need to predict and lead your headshot accuracy towards where the target's going to move, and because of that, oftentimes you're going to whiff completely. When playing though, because her body shot damage is so weak, if you don't feel that you're going to be able to line up a headshot, oftentimes her other abilities are more potent in the team fight. We'll get into that later. Her single target healing is actually insane when it lands. So focus more on trying to enact the ability that you think can land, rather than assuming the character is all offense or nothing. That's not precisely true. She is actually a hybrid, but offense is fun, so let's talk about maybe the most fun combo available to you. Playing with a Sombra, I think, could be the most potent backline assassin duo ever. Because Sombra can go invis and translocate with a little bit of communication and teamwork. I'm sort of forcing it here with Fitzy and selling him down the river a little bit, I think, showing where he is. But with some preparation, it basically means you have like two translocators. You have two characters that can play the exact same position, which is quite rare. Oftentimes with a Sombra hack, it's difficult to get a teammate that gets in the same position. Between Kiriko's flexibility to heal Sombra or deal a big burst of headshot damage, I think it's probably one of the more potent combos when it comes to moving around the map. Kiriko's teleport cooldown is short enough to be able to go in, be offensive, get a pick, and get back out again. With a 30-meter range, you can play both ends of the team fight, and playing active like this, forcing the enemy to respect a flank from a support who is deadly lethal, means the enemy's defenses could go down or a backline pickoff. I by no means feel I've mastered this playstyle yet, but it's the one that you're going to see a lot of streamers do to carry ranked games. It has the most solo carry potential, I think. I'm still warming up to it myself. Getting past this Rialto choke can sometimes be a nightmare, but Sombra's invis makes it easy for us to carve up their backline. And if we win the duels, team fights opened right up. I just wish I remembered to pop the protection Suzu in time to save Fitzy's life, and we probably both teleport out of there. Like, imagine weaving in and out of the backline and just controlling parts of the map. The potential of this is insane. But I also think that's the style that you can more easily mess up, especially if you miss or whiff an ability or, you know, forget that you have an immunity spell. A playstyle that I found surprisingly effective is that Kiriko is actually quite the pocket healer. Yeah, although she has to do a small reload when she shoots out all of her cards, overall her healing per second averages out to 70 on a single target if all of the cards hit. That's significantly more than the pocketing of, let's say, a Mercy. Now, Mercy can play safely and damage amp a target while holding a corner, not even needing to peek, so you don't gain from just focusing on pocketing, but because you can navigate the battlefield defensively, like I'll try to do on this King's Row, you can really all in on a single target to keep them alive. Zarya is a great example for this because she, of course, gets stronger over time the longer she stays alive. And the more threatening she is, the more she can press the issue and force the enemy's focus fire. This often can make it useful for the enemy to, even on like an exit kill, try to eliminate the Zarya so that she can't retain her energy for the next team fight. This lobby as well has a bunch of streamers in it, and my Zarya teammate is Javian, who's a really skilled player in his own right. Zarya bubbles are a cleanse in their own right, but Protection Suzu helps give Zarya a quick extra life in hairy situations, and the enemy in this game often gets baited in throwing in some all-in abilities to try to guarantee overwhelming the Zarya. But this game, rather than being more offensive, I try to play more get down Mr. President, a few times putting my own body just a little bit on the line, but keeping the Zarya alive for another channel of high energy and bubbles in this matchup was going to be an auto win. Other characters the creators were rather afraid of thinking about is someone like a Roadhog, who normally gets pretty easily shut down by Ana, Sleep, and Nade. But in a similar way, pocketing him and popping a Suzu whenever a disable comes in gives you a lot of supporting power. This is a little bit surprising, and I think it comes down to just the really high single target healing numbers. So while she won't have the area of effect healing that Batiste can do, healing the whole team, when it comes to saving one target, considering the size of the Protection Suzu and her healing a single target, she's amazing at that as a support. I think it's fair to say she's similar in pocket value to the likes of Mercy. And you're certainly going to be afraid of a good Kiriko player, not just for her kunai accuracy to headshot you, but for the supportive plays you can make to keep your carry alive, whichever character that is. Typically ones that have high damage output and otherwise would be easy focus fire for the enemy. And last up for the video, I want to talk briefly about the Kitsune Rush Ultimate, how to think about setting it up yourself, but remembering it's mostly for your teammates. Kiriko does have some pretty intense solo plays, but her kunai knives are so hard to throw and hit that it's not like Batiste, who has a hit scan weapon using window. He can snipe something pretty easily on his own. I don't suggest you do that. The speed boost, cooldown reduction, as well as fire rate increase, all of that does linger a small bit after you exit the gates, but really you want to stay fighting in them whenever possible. So putting it on characters that like to fight in close range is a natural pairing, and you playing with Kiriko teammates should try to figure out how to weave in and out of that effect in order to maximize it. Characters with high mobility that can step their toe in it, then jump out and go chase down stragglers that are trying to escape. Remembering maybe you only need a partial second of the boost to be able to hit a damage break point and win an elimination. Above anything else, this ult is just fun for everyone to use. And some cool things that I realized that make it not as OP as you'd think is there's a lot of ultimates that explode a certain area, or a lot of characters that can throw abilities into an area in order to punish being out in the open. Kitsune Rush is kind of best as a lane down a main street, but there's still a lot of interplay with it. Because you know Kiriko is going to have to go offensive with it to use it, shutting it down with a prepared Dragon Strike from Hanzo or Pharah Barrage flank over the top, or Molten Core, there's a lot of ultimates you can toss into it so that it isn't just a free win, because it doesn't give any defense, of course. Some of the best combos for Kitsune Rush are melee characters or characters that can cleave. The biggest one I think is Dragon Blade, who just moves so much faster in your whole team, though he's not going to have the durability you would expect from Nano Boost. The speed that he can change targets and move on top of the DPS passive they just gave him makes him really hard to hit, even for the top level players I'm playing against. But the swing speed of like Primal Rage or Rhine's Hammer, or the tick damage of, let's say, a Zarya Beam or Winston's Tesla Gun, that increases as well. Just be sure to look out for the enemy's tank if they have defenses, like let's say a big barrier at full health, or a defense matrix which eats like your soldier sites or whatever you're trying to set up. The enemy's tank has the most opportunity to disrupt this engage. Remember, one of the biggest benefits is the move speed as well. So you want to lay it on the team fight where everyone can push W through to go forward, so that even at worst, it gains you the main line space of the map, forcing the enemy in worse positions and probably just getting run over in the process. And considering when you combine what I talked about single target pocketing earlier on top of Kitsune Rush, for a lot of teammates, they will just roll over the opposition with a little bit of help. Well, that's going to be it for today's playstyle breakdown video for Kiriko. I hope that cleared some things up for you. We, of course, will have tons more content in the pipeline, so to make sure you don't miss out on it, please be sure to leave the video with a like and click the subscribe button and the bell icon to actually get notified when our videos go live. Link to the description is our Twitter. Come over there and discuss the level of power you think Kiriko does or doesn't have. I'm curious to know your thoughts. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.